I wanted to share the creation of one of my platinum prints I made on my series on isolation. This is a lovely and talented friend of ours, a model who goes by the name of Little Phoenix. She had come up with the idea of her isolation revolving around not being able to get out and visit many of her favorite outdoor locations. Originally, we had decided to create this shot in the forest, but it decided to rain that day, and honestly, it turned out much better this way. We photographed her on a green screen and then replaced that green screen with a photograph of tall trees that I had pixelated on purpose. Add a little drop shadow, and I was able to add just a bit more to the story of the photograph. After all, how often are we expected to enjoy the things we like on a laptop or phone screen nowadays? The photograph was flipped and then sent to be printed on our digital negative printer. Once it was printed and dry, I put it on a cutting mat and gave it a trim. It's important to be as precise as possible with this process. Originally, I had sized this photo for 7 by 9, but this piece of paper I had left over was perfect. I decided to give it a shot to see if the tight quarters of the print would add to the feeling that I wanted to convey, and I really think it did. The platinum palladium process is pretty simple, though for the price it's certainly a plus to make sure you have someone teach you the ins and outs as well as what to look for on your page. Depending on negative density, the chemicals are mixed drop by drop. Add a bit of tween. And then jiggle the mix. The tween makes sure everything spreads easier on the page. The solution is applied with a perfectly damp brush, and then once applied to the paper, it's feathered to even out the emulsion. While I've found that it's not that important to get a perfect coating the first time, it is important to make sure you even everything out. Once feathering up, down, left, right, and diagonally, you want to get the right sheen on the paper without damaging the surface. It's nice to have brush strokes sometimes, but I wanted to make sure that I had the emulsion all the way out to the edges. After this, a little bit of heat will help it dry, and then to protect it from the light, just, whoops, right under the enlarger. After retrieving the dusty print and dusting it off, all the dust bunnies and spiders, in the film drying cabinet it goes. A little twist of the light bulb to turn it off, a few minutes of fan, and a little bit of heat will dry it nice and quickly. It's really special to work with some antique contact frames, cameras, gives everything a little bit of soul. A clean contact frame is a happy contact frame. Even though my final print used a cheap film contact printer instead, it's important to keep the glass clean not only for optical clarity, but also to protect your negatives as well. While this is a digital negative that I could easily print another of, the film and the carbon inks are expensive and I'd rather not. For our first exposure, everything was underexposed when we developed it. I wanted to go a bit light, but not this light. We then gave it another shot and doubled our exposure. This one was much better.